All right, drill press operators. We're diving into their world today. You've given me some interesting sources about this,
Yeah.
this skilled trade. So let's just get right into it. What does it really take to excel in this kind of work? How is tech changing things up? And for someone in this career, what's the road ahead look like?
Great questions to get us started.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to think drill press operator, they just make holes, right?
Right.
But what these sources show is that there's a lot more to it. It combines precision and technical know-how, and you have to be able to adapt.
Yeah, you mentioned precision. The RoleCatcher guide mentions, get this, hardened, rotary, multi-pointed cutting tools. Now I'm picturing like a sci-fi movie.
Right.
What are we talking about here?
Well, so imagine a drill bit.
Yeah.
But instead of one point, it's got these multiple cutting edges.
Yeah.
And they're arranged in a really specific way.
Wow.
These tools, they need to be strong, hence hardened, to cut through, metal, plastic, wood.
Okay.
And the rotary part is that they spin super fast.
Oh.
And that's where the real precision comes in. If you're even a tiny bit off in your calculations, you could ruin a whole piece.
So it's not just pushing a button, huh?
Yeah.
You have to really get the materials, the tools, how to fine-tune everything to get that perfect cut.
Exactly. And that's a big part of why this job is safe, even with automation becoming more common. Robots are great at doing the same thing over and over.
Right.
But when you need to use different materials and make adjustments on the fly, that's where having a human really makes a difference.
So while robots are taking over some industries, drill press operators are safe for now.
That's what it seems like. The sources actually say that this is a big plus job stability. And because skilled operators are in high demand, they often earn good money, and there's room for them to move up. Like any other job, though, there's two sides.
Let's talk about those. What should anyone thinking about this line of work be ready for?
Well, it is demanding. You're often standing all day, maybe lifting heavy stuff. And if the safety procedures aren't followed, you could get hurt. And let's be real, running a drill press can get old after a while.
It's a trade-off. A job that's hands-on, pays well, there's a demand for it, but it's not going to be a good fit for everyone. Speaking of which, the guide touched on different career paths. It wasn't very detailed, though.
Okay.
Can you talk about how someone might advance in this field?
Absolutely. You don't just drill the same holes forever. The guide actually talks about 3 levels: entry-level, junior, and senior drill press operator. And as you go up, there are more responsibilities and opportunities for growth.
So it's not just about how long you've been doing it. It's more about building skills and taking on new challenges.
You got it. Entry-level, you're learning the basics, setting up the drill press, loading the materials, following instructions really carefully, like building a foundation.
Okay. What about junior level? Does it get more complicated?
It does. Junior operators work with technical drawings, they figure out how to solve small problems, and they work more with their team. They're not just following directions, they're using their critical thinking skills and problem solving.
Okay, so at the junior level, you're building confidence and learning to work more on your own. And what about that senior level? What does a drill press master look like?
The senior drill press operator. They're the go-to person, the expert everyone looks up to, the one you go to for advice. You're not just in charge of how things are running. You're training the new people, making sure the processes are good, making sure everything's running smoothly.
Like a well-oiled machine.
Exactly.
So you're not just good with the tools, you're leading a team and deciding how things are done. That's a whole other thing.
And it shows how this career can change over time. You can focus on a specific type of drilling or even move into a supervisor role or management. There are a lot of different options.
Not a dead-end job, that's for sure. You got to talk about robots taking over. Those sources, especially the Beat the Automated Recruiter page, said tech is changing the game, even for drill press operators.
Yeah, that's true. It's not even just about robots in the factories. It's how companies use AI and these algorithms to find people for the job. So instead of a person going through resumes, you have these computer programs looking for certain words and skills.
So what does a drill press operator do? Especially someone just starting out. How do they stand out to a computer?
Right. And the Beat the Automated Recruiter page had some really good advice. Having the skills isn't enough anymore. You have to show them in a way these algorithms will understand.
So you need to speak their language. What do you mean?
Yeah. You have to change your resume, how you present yourself online, to highlight the specific words employers want to see. Like instead of saying good with machines, you could say expert in using CNC drill presses, specializing in precision cutting and then you list the materials you know.
So you have to be specific. Show off the things you're really good at.
Right. You're proving to the computer and the human looking at your resume that you understand the job and the technology behind it.
It's a lot to keep up with.
It can be, but luckily, there are resources to help with all of this.
Right. We talked about the RoleCatcher platform, but what else can people do to stay up to date?
Never stop learning, that's important. Taking online courses to improve your technical skills, going to industry conferences, or even just reading trade magazines. It's important to stay informed about new trends in technology.
Be a lifelong learner. That's good advice for anyone, really, not just drill press operators. We've talked about a lot. The little details of drill bits, AI in hiring.
We have.
We covered the good parts of the job. It's stable. You can make good money. You can have this job your whole career. And we've been honest about the downsides, too. It's physical. It could be repetitive. And you got to keep up with technology.
Exactly.
Which leads me to my next question. What does all this mean for someone listening who's thinking about becoming a drill press operator?
Here's the thing. It seems like a classic blue-collar job, but it's a field with a lot of opportunity, especially for people who are detail-oriented, can adapt, and want to learn. It's a mix of hands-on work and new technology. And this job is probably going to be around for a long time.
Kind of a hidden gem, a stable job where you can learn new skills and actually create something. And it shows that the future isn't just, robots taking over for people. It's more about people and tech working together.
I totally agree. Remember those hardened, rotary, multi-pointed cutting tools?
How could I forget?
They're incredible, right?
Yeah.
But without someone who knows how to use them, they're useless.
That human element is so important. Being able to solve problems, figure things out, that's what makes those skilled trades stand out. So for someone listening who's like, okay, this actually sounds kind of cool, but where do I even begin? What would you tell them?
I'd say be curious.
Okay.
Learn about the different kinds of drill presses, the materials they can handle, what industries they're used in. There's a lot to this, and figuring out what interests you most is important.
Yeah, find what you like and what you're good at.
Exactly. And hands-on experience is really valuable. Look for apprenticeships or vocational programs, even online tutorials to get a feel for what it's like.
You can't beat that practical experience.
Right.
Reading about it is one thing, but actually doing it, totally different.
And as you get more experience, never stop learning. The tech is always changing. There are new materials, so you got to keep up.
Be a student of your craft.
That's it. And these days, with all the online courses, industry forums, there's so much opportunity to learn new things.
And it's not even just the technical skills, is it? We talked about those softer skills, like being able to problem solve, being adaptable. Those matter to those AI recruiters too.
It's about being well-rounded, having the technical skills, knowing how to solve problems, and being open to learning and growing.
So to anyone listening who's thinking about drill press operators, remember, it's a job where detail matters, where you can be creative and use cool technology. It's hard, but rewarding, and there's a lot of opportunity if you're willing to put in the work.
Well said. Who knows? Maybe our next deep dive will be on one of our listeners who's become a big name in the field.
That'd be amazing. And that wraps up our deep dive on drill press operators. Until next time, everyone, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those drills sharp.